Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. The Solana chart hasn't moved much since yesterday's last update. The move down looks fairly corrective. Price action resembles a bit of a head and shoulders pattern, but we haven't really had a very clear, you could say, neckline. So that's missing. So it's not really a very clean head and shoulders pattern. Nevertheless, it's now basically where we had the previous swing low, 14th of November low, structural support. And it could be that it's unfolding here now, this white wave count, obviously, but as a WXY structure. In my last update, I explored the idea it could just be an ABC, but it should really have come down a bit more directly in a C wave. So it looks a bit like a WXY, and then in the Y wave, there's obviously the potential here that this is an ABC. Alternatively, so that would then, this WXY structure should ideally reach the area between $42.80 and $49.30 and would complete a larger A wave. That would be the expectation in this correction. Not that all of wave 4 is already complete, but just the A wave. Then we should still get a larger B wave and then a C wave. Why not all of wave 4? Well, I cannot rule it out, right? But you just need to remember that oftentimes in crypto, a wave 2 and a wave 4 have a similar length. If you look at the length of this wave 2 here and the length of this wave 4, something's off there. Therefore, it would be likely that this is just forming a more extended A, B, C correction. The exact way a correction unfolds is, you could say, impossible to predict. But what we normally start with is we track normally just an ABC structure in the beginning, just a normal ABC. When we see it might form something different, we adjust the wave count. Much more important than trying to figure out what the exact wave count is. More important is to understand where the support levels are. And the key support levels for the A wave are indicated here. Then we've got $40.40 as 38.2 retracement level and $34.40 as 50% retracement level. These are two key structural support levels that are important for the wave 4 as a whole. And oftentimes, yeah, you would expect the A wave to land somewhere in the upper half of that larger support box for a wave 4. And then maybe that C wave in the end, somewhere in the middle, lower end of the support box. Essentially, you also need to pay attention to this price channel that's unfolding or has been unfolding. So maybe the lower boundary line of the channel will be relevant as well. So it looks to me it might reach the area between $34 and $40, but it's a bit too early to predict that. At the moment, it's not even fully confirmed that we're coming down in the white count. It looks increasingly toppy, but this could still be within wave 3. Seems less likely now, but we haven't broken micro support. Remember that I said we can really only confirm that this larger degree fourth wave is unfolding when we break below $49.40. Hasn't happened yet. Price action to the downside, however, looks quite like the white wave count. Yeah, it's just hard and difficult to distinguish between different corrective structures because they can change so often. But for now, I would start to focus on this white wave count more and more. Essentially, a lot of people were waiting for this deeper pullback. You know that I said a pullback is due. Not necessarily overdue, but the price reached obviously this ideal target area for a third wave. That's when we need to be watching for those pullbacks. But without a clear signal, we can't confirm them, right? So still can't fully confirm it, and it might still surprise, that's what cryptos do. But then it might be the next high when we finally finish wave 3. And if we suddenly get another extension to the upside directly from here, then I would not call that wave 4. We're then likely still in this third wave and just get another extension. Next extension levels will be $71.20, $79, and then even $93. But yeah, I mean, if we don't get them in the third wave, we should get there in the fifth wave. It might just take a while until we get this fourth wave completed and start before we start the fifth, because then in the fifth wave, we should reach these higher prices. That's still expected. So overall, still bullish on Solana, no change at all. Just seems that we get a little bit more clarity now that Solana wants to finally start this larger correction. So hopefully the Fibonacci levels and the structures are clear. Looking at the indicators on the 4-hour chart, the price is now basically oversold again. Now, that would basically be in line with the idea here that we could get a B-wave bounce from here. So it seems like it's starting a larger bounce. Because we're dealing with a correction, you have to expect the wave count, the actual structure, to change quite a bit. So it might be that only this was wave W, yeah? And then, but I would not focus so much on the wave, the actual wave count, because it has very limited predictive qualities in a correction. More important are the Fibonacci extensions and support and resistance levels. But yeah, it seems like we might get a bit of a bounce here. That could be the wave B. Above the $62 level, I might just have to redo the count here and say, okay, this was W, this is X, but that doesn't really change the scenario. If we really get a break now above the $68 level, I have to assume we get another extension. Before that, you know, it could just be part of that white wave count. We just get a larger WXY structure. So just be aware of that. Yeah, daily chart still bullish, so it's still in the bullish range overall. Will be interesting if we get into the bearish range. If we get into the bearish range, then we are basically in the same range in which Solana was between August and September. And that just indicates sort of an advanced stage within this correction. So, but you can see in this decline here, Solana didn't really enter the below 50 range until it was, you could say, maybe a third through the current correction. So yeah, it might be going the same way. Looking at the 4 hour, yeah, we were oversold. 1 hour chart. See, 1 hour chart already back in bullish, but when it gets higher in this B wave, it will quickly get overbought again, would indicate then continuation. You know, we will see. I mean, honestly, anything really lower than the 4 hour chart when we talk about indicators, not really useful, at least not for video analysis. So yeah, I think the parameters should be very clear. You've got definitely levels to watch there. And it will be interesting to see if it's now finally rolling over. A lot of people were waiting for that. Yeah, that's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. You can find the links in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.